Hi, BookTube. It's Gina. Happy Thursday. Hope you're doing well. It's a rainy day here in Seattle, so our snow is definitely gone. And I thought I would do the book postscript tag today. There's a whole bunch of really fun end of the year tags going around, and I'm trying to squeeze in as many as I can because the end of the year has come and gone. But I think this first week is a little bit of a grace period, right? We can still reflect on our year last year. So you may see a few more of these wrap-up tags. We'll see. But I definitely wanted to do this one because I was tagged by my friend Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, and I really like this tag. I've been having a lot of fun watching everyone's answers, and so I thought I would jump right in. So this is the book postscript tag. It was created by Adam at Memento Mori. If you haven't seen Adam's channel, he is such a funny, snarky, interesting person. He hasn't been making any videos, but I've been hearing through the grapevine that he might be coming back. So we hope he does because he's got a great channel. So let's get started. Prompt number 1 is the longest book you read this year. This is, of course, 2021, and the book that took you the longest to finish. And those for me are one and the same. It is Bleak House by Charles Dickens, this beautiful chunkster. I've got the paperback modern library edition, which I love. And this has got 880 pages. That's including the notes, so it's a little bit less than that. But it's a chunky book, thin pages, small font. I of course read this on my Kindle because you guys know I love reading big books on my Kindle. This also took me the longest to finish for a couple reasons. One, I had a little bit of a difficult time getting into it because it starts slow for me. It was a little difficult to kind of settle in. And then also I just had some, we lost an old cat who died during this month. And so it was just a really hard month, which kind of slowed me down a little bit. So it took a long time for me to finish this book, but I'm so glad I did. I ended up absolutely loving it and giving it 5 stars and putting it at the top of my top 10 list for 2021. Prompt number 2 is how many books did you reread? And I reread 3 books this year. One was The Cat Who Knew Shakespeare by Lillian Jackson Braun, which is a cozy mystery where 2 Siamese cats, Coco and Yum Yum, help their owner solve mysteries by knocking books off of shelves and giving him little clues. They're hilarious. I love them. And I read this Shakespeare one in September because it was Shaktember, and of course it didn't relate much to Shakespeare at all, except that the cats were knocking Shakespeare books off of the shelves to help him solve his mystery. Isn't that hilarious? And then I also reread Northanger Abbey and Persuasion by Jane Austen. Here's my beautiful Penguin hardbound classics edition of Northanger Abbey, and then this really cute little edition of Persuasion. Of course, neither of which I actually read. Again, I had these on my Kindle, so I read them on my Kindle. I do love this little copy though, because I can pop it in my purse, and it's super easy to travel with. Not that I'm going out and like sitting in restaurants and reading much anymore. I'm hoping to get back to that soon, but this is fun for that because this might sound a little bit pretentious too, but I do, when I'm reading and I'm going to be out in public, I really like to have a paper book with me because I don't want people to just think I'm sitting there staring at my phone. I want them to realize that I'm reading. I know, it makes me kind of sound like a bit of a pretentious poo. But anyway, so that's one of the reasons why I like these easy to carry around small books. And the next question is your favorite reread, and that is Persuasion. I love this book. It would have definitely been on my top 10 list this year, as probably would have Northanger Abbey because I also love that one. But I decided not to put any rereads on my top 10 list. So Persuasion, it is so good. And I read those for Jane Austen July. I didn't finish Northanger Abbey in July though. I read that one I think in August. Prompt number 2, which I skipped over, is a book you read this year that was outside of your comfort zone. And I'm not quite sure how to answer this question because when I really think about what my comfort zone is, to me, that means something that made me uncomfortable. And there were very few books that make me uncomfortable or make me feel like I'm doing something outside my comfort zone. I did read some books that are not my general type, like there goes my cat. How to Be an Anti-Racist, which is nonfiction, which I generally don't read, but I wouldn't say it's outside of my comfort zone. So I don't know. I kind of struggle with this question a little bit. I also read a lot of Star Trek books. Actually, not a lot. I only read 3. But I read 3 Star Trek books, which was a lot for me because I'd never read any of them before. And again, they weren't hard to read or outside my comfort zone. They're just not something I had generally read before, and I don't read a lot of science fiction. So I'm not quite sure if that really counts, but let's just say Star Trek books. We're skipping over 4, which was the favorite reread, and going to number 5, which is a book you read for the first time that you look forward to rereading in the future. And I forgot to I'm going to do my 2 top favorites, though, you guys. Again, I'm going to go for Piranesi, my top 10, number 1 and number 2 of 2021, and Beloved, my also top 1 or 2 of 2021. I think that both of these books deserve and warrant and really need a reread so that I can get the full experience. For Piranesi, I read it so fast. I sat down and read it in one sitting that I want to now go back and reread it to slow down a little bit. And for Beloved, I did not read this one quickly, but I read it as a buddy read with Kelly. And this one really deserves a reread because it's so rich and there's so much going on. And it starts out very confusing and you start to figure out what's happening. And again, I would like to really just be able to, now that I know what's going on, be able to settle in and read it with a deeper understanding. So I'm going to go with those 2. They were both fantastic. Prompt number 6 is favorite single short story or novella that you read this year, and I have to go with A Christmas Carol for this one, which I have not read before, and this is a kid's version that I picked up on thrift books with illustrations that I love. Can't believe I haven't read this before. Absolutely love this. 5 stars. Prompt number 7 is Mass Appeal, a book you liked and would recommend to a wide variety of readers. Now, this one I also struggle with, and the next one which is the reverse of this, which is a book you like but would be hesitant to recommend to just anyone, because I don't necessarily have a book where I would say everybody in the world should read this, although Beloved might fall into that category, but I would not necessarily recommend Beloved to everyone. It's very, it's a difficult book, it's a beautiful book, but somebody who's super young or, high school students, I think this would be difficult for them to maybe grasp, although I do think everybody should read it. I'm not sure I would recommend it to anybody that asked me for a book recommendation. So these are other questions that I always kind of stumble over. But what I'm going to go for this one is, if you're looking for a sort of an intro point to a cozy D.E. Stevenson book, this is a really good one. This is it's called Shoulder the Sky. In this edition, I found this beautiful vintage hardback edition at my favorite used bookstore. And when I read it, it was called Winter and Rough Weather. I don't know why British publishers feel the need to rename their books when they publish them in the U.S. I think Shoulder the Sky is a beautiful title, but this is a really nice, cozy D.E. Stevenson book about a young couple settling in the country and just trying to find their place. And I loved this. And so if you're looking for a good entry point into some of these cozy 20th century ladies, this is a really good one to start with. And the opposite of that, I'm going to go, so what book you read that you liked that you would not recommend to everyone would be the Star Trek book Strangers from the Sky. I loved this book so much, and I would recommend it to people who are interested in Star Trek, but it's pretty niche type of book. I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. Prompt number 9 is reflect on your year as a bookish content creator. And I love this question. I may do a whole video on this at some point and expand. I have my 1 year YouTube anniversary coming up February 27th. And it has just been such a fantastic year. This is goals met, good or bad memories, favorite videos you made, etc. And I did not have any goals for my channel. I started it on a whim because I had been to a used bookstore and I had bought a bunch of these old vintage copies. Actually, I found a huge stack of Miss Read, my beloved Miss Read, and I came home and I was like, I don't have anyone to talk to about this. And Kelly, again, had been putting a bug in my ear to start a YouTube channel. And so I sat down and I said to myself, Gina, just turn a camera on, my phone in this instance, and just start recording. And I did. And that has been the beginning of such, cat again, a fun journey. I can honestly say I don't have any bad memories. I've not gotten any hate, knock on wood, in comments. I've been meeting a ton of wonderful, fun, intelligent, articulate readers. I've not met any goals because I did not set any goals for my channel. I talked about this before. If I had set goals for my channel, I would have frozen myself. I would not have been able to function. So by just sitting down and starting to talk to you and winging it, I feel like I've been learning so much and constantly growing. I bought a tripod. My producer Greg bought me a tripod, so I now have this fancy little setup, and I finally learned how to put pictures up here, which took forever. I still am not really editing, but I feel like there's so much potential and room to grow with this, and I'm just going to let it wash over me, enjoy it, have fun, and see where it takes me at this point. I don't have any favorite videos because all I do is just sit here and talk to you, and they're kind of all the same, to be honest. I do really like doing tag videos. I like doing hauls because I love when I find these old vintage copies. I buy a lot of used books. So I'm just gonna be enjoying this. I'm trying this year maybe to branch out a little bit and not do quite so many hauls and tags, but some more original things, more chatty things. So we'll see where that goes. But I've just been having such a ball so far. So thank you to everyone who has been with me on this journey so far, and I look forward to another really fun year with you. And prompt number 10 is tag some fellow bookish content creators. And I'm actually not going to do that because it's the end of the year already. Everyone and their brother has already done this tag, I think, and it's kind of too late. That's not too late, but I don't want to put anybody on the spot to do a tag at an end of the year specific tag when the end of the year has kind of come and gone. So I'm going to just stop it at that, say thank you again to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, who has made a comment, who has watched a video. It's been so much fun, and I am grateful that you are here. Bye.